Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement. And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like 3 million. There's watches that are 3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts.
He's kind of trapped in a regimen of fight, get the money, spend the money, fight. Fight, get the money, spend the money, fight. You know, there's no investments, no income from anywhere outside of him fighting.
Joe, Crawford, and several other figures have raised concerns about the way Floyd Mayweather handles his wealth, especially given the question of whether the fortune he accumulated from boxing can withstand years of extremely high spending. Rogan has specifically highlighted Mayweather's collection of costly watches, high-end automobiles, several Bugattis, expensive properties, and his frequent public displays of luxury. According to the concerns he has raised, maintaining that kind of lifestyle could rapidly reduce even a fortune as large as Mayweather's. Rogan has also questioned whether Mayweather can continue covering those enormous expenses for many years without eventually facing financial pressure.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He gotta show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car.
50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather have had a highly publicized conflict for years, with Mayweather's finances and lavish lifestyle frequently becoming part of the rapper's criticism. What once started as a friendship gradually developed into a bitter public rivalry, creating repeated moments where 50 Cent challenged the image of wealth that Mayweather displays. The rapper has often taken aim at Floyd's high-end cars, luxury watches, visible cash, and other expensive belongings. His criticism has focused on the idea that owning or displaying costly possessions alone is not proof that someone is financially stable. Their feud has continued through numerous exchanges and personal remarks, and Mayweather's spending habits have remained one of 50 Cent's recurring targets. On various occasions, he has questioned Floyd's financial choices and business decisions.
Himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
They trying to keep up.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know?
No one would know. Exactly.
Spencer Cornelia has raised questions about what may really be motivating Floyd Mayweather to return to boxing. In Cornelia's view, the comeback could be connected more to money than to a genuine desire to compete again. Although Mayweather accumulated massive earnings during his career, his costly lifestyle and ongoing financial commitments may have increased the pressure to secure another substantial payday. From this perspective, Mayweather's return may not primarily be about proving himself against another opponent.
He's really gone.
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money.
And it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like within lifestyle, that money is gone. Trust me. Now it's like you call him, he'll be at your local host in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Cornelia has suggested that maintaining Mayweather's high-end lifestyle may require millions of dollars each month, which could make another boxing appearance especially important from a financial standpoint. Mayweather has repeatedly highlighted the huge amounts of revenue associated with his events, arguing that only a small number of fighters have ever generated that kind of earning power through their own performances. From Cornelia's point of view, the discussion is therefore not limited to what is motivating Mayweather to compete once more. The bigger concern is whether the costly lifestyle and spending commitments he has built over the years now require another enormous payday to keep everything running.
To add up. Many have speculated that Mayweather is coming out of retirement for a rematch with Pacquiao because he needs the money. Yes, this is why. Around August 2025, Floyd needed cash money, so he decided to start pawning his jewelry. Here's a text on August 25th, 2025 of Jonas sending Floyd an image of his watch and the word loan below. That represents that watch as being within the group that was being pawned. Here's the second image sent on that day. The top image is a collection of watches that were grouped together for a November loan and that many had been returned after the balance was paid down. Here's the next message of another collection of watches that were used for a loan. The image on the left is an exhibit Floyd included in the complaint. Within this list are 4 of the watches you see in the text message on the right that were included in the group of watches that were pawned. This indicates he continues to lie about not knowing that his watches were getting pawned for a loan to fund his lifestyle. What was told to me is that Floyd was running out of money. Now, obviously, his broke is a lot different than broke for me and you, but at this time he needed money, so he decided to pawn $13 million from his watch.
Floyd Mayweather is reportedly facing another financial-related lawsuit, with a new claim involving approximately $105,000 that is allegedly still owed for private aviation services. This comes after previous reports of a $330,000 rental dispute and an alleged $7.3 million tax liability involving the IRS. At the same time, questions have surfaced online about the condition of Floyd Mayweather Promotions. One supporter claimed that the company's website was no longer accessible and raised concerns about whether Mayweather's financial obligations could be affecting his ability to pay fighters. Some online speculation even suggested that financial uncertainty might have played a role in certain people deciding to move away from the organization. Another dispute reportedly involves Mayweather's luxury Manhattan residence. According to court records dated January 8, 2026, a lawsuit claims that more than $500,000 in rent had gone unpaid. Perpetual Love Investments, LLC, reportedly brought the case, alleging that Mayweather failed to make rental payments between July and November 2025. The complaint lists the outstanding amount as $515, $834.25, but the legal filing also states that Mayweather later agreed to settle the unpaid balance, but allegedly did not make the payment that was due on December 2, 2025. Reports say he entered into the lease toward the end of 2024, with a monthly rent for the Manhattan property reportedly reaching $100,000. Business Insider reportedly named Layla and David Sentner as the owners of the residence. The couple purchased 2 apartments in the building for $15.3 million in 2016 before combining the units into one much larger condominium. Layla reportedly said that Mayweather had initially been consistent with his rental payments. According to her account, that changed in July 2025 when the payments allegedly stopped. She also recalled having a conversation with Mayweather in December regarding the overdue amount. She said Floyd appeared taken aback when he learned how large the unpaid balance had become and reportedly indicated that he intended to take care of it. However, according to the account, communication between the two sides later stopped. For the property owners, the situation reportedly became even more difficult to understand because Mayweather continued posting images on social media showing large quantities of cash. Rena Cleat of Pulse International Realty reportedly said that the landlords were especially frustrated by seeing those displays while they were still waiting for the rent that remained unpaid.
With me is that his lifestyle is so expensive that he constantly needs to take out loans against all his assets, and it's fine when he's fighting and making money because he can pay the loans back, but it's kind of like musical chairs. Here's Floyd texting about having to give up all of his jewelry and watches and all of his women's bags. Further, he sent the text, "Don't forget about my ladies' Birkins, also that's a part of the $13 million. In December 2025, Floyd texted, "Please keep me updated on my jewelry and Birkins, thanks." Back in March, so around 7 months after he began pawning, he texted his pawn shop lender asking about the balance he owes so Jonah knows what the number is. Jonah, as Floyd's manager and the one who handles all the financial transactions, is the one who ensures that all the loans are paid off. The lender responds $1.85 million in checks, $10.8 million in jewelry, and $1.47 million in fees, and he mentions needing another $360,000 by Friday so the fees don't keep adding up. Floyd received the $13 million for pawning watches in his supposed $100 million watch collection. Jonah shared with me that people pay up to 3% per month, which is why the fees were so high. That loan was almost paid in full. If you reread Joel's message, it makes sense. Joel says, "I have recouped everything and hasn't had to sell any pieces. All that remains is another $360,000 so Floyd doesn't have to pay any more fees." In case you aren't following, Joel can sell the watches that were pawned if Floyd doesn't pay the $13 million back. but he didn't need to sell watches because he was paid back and made $1.5 million in fees. In the complaint, Floyd discusses pawning his $100 million jewelry collection with the words, "to be pledged or placed in the possession of Joel, a Miami jewelry dealer." The amount received was around $13 million. A substantial portion of the pledged jewelry remains in the possession of Joel and Modi, and no accounting has been provided to Mr. Mayweather, and then alleges that the consideration received was diverted by Rechnitz and not paid to...
Dana White has recently addressed the reports surrounding Floyd Mayweather's financial situation, offering his own perspective on the concerns that have sparked discussion among boxing fans. Mayweather generated an enormous amount of income during his career, earning hundreds of millions of dollars through his success inside and outside the ring. Despite those earnings, there has been ongoing speculation about how much of that fortune remains today, particularly after years of significant spending.
Deal with the taxes, because that seems to kill a lot of the fighters. Like, why do they keep getting caught up with taxes? They talk about Floyd getting caught up, Mike Tyson getting caught up.
Well, that's the financial literacy component that we always, that everyone kind of whispers about, right? Yeah, they whisper about, right? Is the outgo not matching the income. You know what I mean? I think that was one of the things that I spoke with Floyd about, being an example of blowing the dough. For the kids to have that as, and then it's one of those marketing tactics, I believe, that you're going to spend the money, show that you can spend the money. Secretly, you're making a whole lot, but you're creating an image for kids to follow that's not necessarily conducive to financial literacy. Some of the shit, man, you know what I mean? When guys who put their life on the line, who then have to go home short while you give to women, right? In front of the guys, I didn't think that was necessarily cool. When your kids are doing things that they shouldn't do for money because you don't give them the money that you give to women for nothing. Now, I'm not looking at women and looking at him and saying what he should be doing. We were talking, because he was looking for me, and we were talking about the differences in the way my get down is and the differences of the way he get down.
Although Floyd Mayweather accumulated a tremendous fortune during his time in boxing, financial commentator Spencer Cornelia has questioned how much of that wealth may have been reduced by the fighter's well-known high-cost lifestyle. Over the years, Mayweather has reportedly spent heavily across numerous categories, including luxury vehicles, expensive watches, upscale real estate, private aircraft, gambling, and the ongoing expenses associated with a large personal entourage.
Works as hard as he did and, amasses the type of wealth that he had, and then, they lose it or it gets stolen or whatever the deal is. It's horrible, and it happens a lot in professional sports. Who knows? Anything is possible. Maybe we could do something and figure it out for him. But one of the things I wanted to, when you were just saying about like tonight's fight, we have 24 broadcast deals in 93 countries that this went out to tonight, So, for these guys to come over here and have the opportunity to not only get paid, but showcase their skills in front of, I always tell fighters, listen, making money is really important, but as many people as possible on earth seeing the things that you did and accomplished is equally as important.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Boxing Ego has also addressed the ongoing conversation about Floyd Mayweather, focusing on the former champion's extraordinary accomplishments, massive earnings, and high-end lifestyle. His remarks provide another viewpoint in the discussion over Mayweather's reported financial difficulties, while also drawing attention to the choices and spending habits that have shaped his life away from boxing.
By sources close to Floyd or former managers of Floyd, that he is spending $3 million per month.
I think what's hard for all of us to grasp, and I'm including myself in this, I'm sure you're the same way, and Vegas has taught me this, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, is that there are a lot of experiences and expenses that the average person just doesn't even know exist. And the best example I like to use is when you go to a nightclub here in Vegas, you can walk in the door and spend $200. The guy 10 feet from you that has bottle service and access to a group of women that he paid a host to get, he might spend $40,000 for the same night in a relatively similar experience. And so within that same night, he spent, whatever the math is, 8,000x what you spent. My point being is that these guys get access to experiences, flying private to the F1, that was a recent event. Maybe they fly private, they fly a group of people, a big 10, 12 person cedar jet out to the World Cup. The World Cup tickets, you're buying a suite. I know Floyd Mayweather bought a suite for the Super Bowl. These are $1 million purchases, which if you are a high income earner, generally means you need to make $1.5 to $2 million so that you can spend $1 million. And it becomes very easy to spend this much money. I know it sounds absurd, and yes, we should criticize them. However, there's a lifestyle that us average folks, I include myself in that, we're not even aware of how easy it is to spend 10, 20, 50, 100 grand, $1 million.
Logan Paul has brought another financial allegation into the conversation about Floyd Mayweather, stating that Mayweather still has an unpaid $3 million obligation to him. Paul says the amount relates to their widely publicized exhibition fight, an event that drew significant attention and generated substantial revenue. Paul maintains that the payment he expected from the bout has not been settled. His claim has added to the scrutiny surrounding Mayweather's finances, particularly because of the enormous.
Floyd always bragged about the money, the cars. I mean, look at his garage. He did videos that looked like the Grand Theft Auto garage, right? Luxury items, on the private jet, all this stuff. And now there's a bunch of reports that we're gonna go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're gonna see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're gonna take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent on a luxurious duplex in Manhattan. The boxer was also hit with 2 new lawsuits over millions in allegedly unpaid bills for jewelry. So keep in mind the terminology, allegedly. Mayweather, we do know he sued Showtime Networks, alleging it helped his ex-manager deprive him of $340 million, which I mentioned earlier. It says, and this will all be linked in the description so you can have a copy or whatnot. Former boxing champ Floyd Mayweather has been hit with 3 new lawsuits alleging that he failed to pay millions to 2 jewelry stores and that he owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent on a palatial luxury Manhattan.
That brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed the content, consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications for upcoming videos. Feel free to share your perspective in the comments and pass this video along to others who may find it interesting. Thanks for spending your time with us, and I'll see you in the next one.